Okay, so thank y'all for being here today. I realize it's possibly been a long day for you on Zoom. But we do want to kind of talk about and help you kind of better understand some of these things. We're all now kind of, or at least I am, starting to think about, fall classes, right? We've got our schedules. We got our first email from the textbook store about our book orders. So we need to start thinking about those. And so this is a good time, I think, to be thinking about these templates and about how we can use them in Brightspace to improve our students' experience with the system. I will say, hopefully you were able to watch that short video that we sent around and had posted, just to kind of give you a little bit more of an experience of how some of these things look kind of in a live interaction. And then some of this stuff, right? We're talking about templates that are built using HTML, which is the markup language used to create web pages. And so, we've had a couple of workshops already this semester about how to use HTML, how to use CSS, which is the style sheets. As you'll kind of see, you don't necessarily have to know all that stuff to be able to work with the templates, or at least to start working with the templates. But it does help down the road. The more you use them and the more you want to use them, the more you want them to get them to work the way you want them to work, it does help. So if you want to go back and watch any of those videos from those two workshops Bart did, we've got those available on our wiki. And as we always want to do, just remind you, if you want to share your experience here with us today, go ahead and use your social media platform of choice. And here's some tags we encourage you to think about using with those posts. So, these HTML templates in this kind of design feature is one of the big kind of selling points that I think kind of brought Brightspace to Xavier's attention when we were looking to switch now, probably what was that, 5 years ago? It was a while ago, right? But one of the really nice features, and for those of you who were here and using that old Blackboard system that we had, I don't know if you had the same experience as me, but students would come and they'd be trying to look at Blackboard on their phones, right? And it would be this big, busy. Blackboard was always kind of busy anyway and hard to kind of navigate. And then it would be kind of just crunched down into those little phones, right? And it was almost impossible to see, and they were zooming in and stuff like that. And so Brightspace overall is designed to address that need. And so it uses what's called responsive design, so that the experience is fairly similar, whether you're looking at it on an iPhone or a tablet or a 27-inch computer monitor, right? It changes a little bit depending on how much space is available, but the experience is the same, right? You have access to the same stuff, right? And it's easy to navigate based on that system, right? And again, a lot of us realize it's not the greatest thing, but a lot of times our students, sometimes at least for parts of their academic careers, the only computer they have regular access to can be their phones, right? And so the ability to work through Brightspace on their phones while it might not be ideal, it's helpful, right? So the HTML templates that are built into Brightspace and that you can use in Brightspace are basic page layouts that you can copy and reproduce and then modify for your own needs. And I do want to kind of make everybody aware that if you're used to using templates in like the Microsoft Office suite, where you might have like a presentation set up and you decide you want some different colors or different design, and you go to templates and you select a different template and it just magically changes all of your pages and keeps all of your content but reformats it. These templates don't work that way, right? And I think Janice will kind of show you a little bit of where that can get you into a little bit of trouble, right? So basically the templates in Brightspace are pages that are sitting by that you can duplicate and then create a new page by duplicating that page. But they do allow for this responsive design so that the pages that you create are still accessible and readable in whatever format the students are looking at them on, right? And we've spent a lot of time over the past year talking not just about using Brightspace, but using Brightspace so that it's accessible to all of our students, right? And really trying to start thinking about both the quality matters standards and this idea of universal design for learning, right? Where every user's experience is the same, regardless of any limitations they might be dealing with. All right, so again, that's really kind of the encouragement. Now, why would you want to go ahead and use these? It helps to organize your site, your class, right? It gives you greater control over what students see and when they see it. And as you'll see in some of my examples here, it helps just kind of structure not only time outside of the class, but time inside the class as well. So I've really been using these heavily for those purposes. The templates in particular allow you to do that while maintaining a consistent visual appearance, right? And so pages look the same. So it's not like you go from one page that has green text with, big serif fonts to another page with red text with sans serif, right? It's consistent, right, from page to page. Or you can set up different pages to look different ways and create even kind of an interaction, right? We've all been on websites that change radically, right? And then you get lost, right? Consistent design is important to help the user kind of navigate through things and recognize where they're at. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of show you a few examples from some of the stuff that I am doing recently with templates, and then kind of show you a few different ways how those appear and how they look a little bit differently here. So I'm actually going to show you kind of my evolution of understanding of how I'm using these templates over the past year or year and a half, really, because I've only been using them really since the pandemic kind of kicked into gear. So, all right. So this is the kind of page that I set up for my students now without actually using any kind of special template, right? This is just kind of the built-in style of pages in Brightspace, right? Now it's not bad, right? It's a nice, straightforward, high contrast, text-based website, right? And you can read it pretty clearly. The text is a little bit small, right? For default text, it's kind of small there. But obviously it's got no style to it, right? It's got nothing special to it. It's just kind of basic, right? And if this is what websites looked like 30 years ago when I started kind of messing around with websites, right? It was just text on a page, right? So that's the default. If you just create a new page or a new file within the content section of Brightspace, this is what it's basically going to look like. Okay. So now we have, and Janice is going to show you how to install these on your courses, right? You can download what's called the Daylight templates, and that comes with much, I think, better styling, right? It's got some built-in images that you can easily replace. It's got formatting. It's got some different colors, right? It's got some kind of different sized fonts and things like that to kind of be visual clues to the students, right? And this one really starts to pay attention to the idea of adaptive design and responsive design, right? So the Daylight has that kind of built into it where it'll change depending on what the students are using to look at the pages, but you can see the difference already. And then once you really get into this, and if you're like me and what's available isn't ever quite good enough for you, right? You can start playing with them yourselves and adapting these to your own needs. So this is what I'm kind of working with now for my two classes that I'm teaching, right? I'm not crazy about this green. To be honest with you, it just kind of annoys me. It's not a very attractive green. I'm not a big fan of the Brightspace orange either. So, again, I can play with the colors, I can play with the fonts, I can play with kind of some of the other styles as well, and I can make it look a little bit different, right? So that my class is consistent, but it's different from everybody else's classes as well. So that's kind of the evolution that you can do with these pages in Brightspace. You can go with the basic, straightforward, which is fine place to start, just kind of learn how to use those pages. Then you can start using those Daylight templates, right? Which are pretty nice, right? And then once you get used to those, then you can move on and you can actually start customizing it so that your site, your classes look radically different from anybody else's classes, right, on Brightspace. And then the last thing I wanted to show you, just as part of that idea of responsive design, right? This is what those 3 pages look like on an iPhone, right? And you can see how not a whole lot changes. It collapses things a little bit, right? Obviously, the text runs over a little bit more, right? But it changes based on the size of the screen that the student is using, right? And again, each of these is pretty nice, right? It's easy to read, right? I think, again, mine's a little more attractive than even kind of the daylight ones, or I kind of find it to be, it's a little more room spacey, right, as well. So that's kind of part of the responsive design, right? The basic model, daylight, and then my own kind of modified version of daylight. All right, and I think with that, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and hand things back to Janice. I saw that, Carmen, they are getting a little bit busy. I'm really kind of trying to, and I didn't really kind of show this, I guess if I can have 1 more minute, Janice, just to kind of respond to Carmen's question. I think that's a good point. I've been feeling that as well. I've been asking my students about it. This is a fully synchronous class that I teach with the Explore 1012, right? And I started using these so that if the students miss class, this isn't just an outline for what we're going to do in class. This is everything we're going to do in class. And so I tell them, if you're going to miss class, go and watch the video or have the video going in the background, and you can come through and you can follow the same instructions that I had everybody in class do, right? So if we did this activity, you can follow along and do this activity, right? If we did this exercise or this assessment, you can follow along and do this. And so it's all right here. I don't need to send them any links. I don't need to give them any special instructions. But you're right, it is getting a little bit busy. I might need to kind of break down and stop doing week by week and do kind of class by class, maybe to simplify things a little bit. Okay, but that's really how that's kind of the evolution of how I'm kind of using these pages now. So every week we've got a page that explains what they need to do outside of class. It explains what we're going to do inside of class. It provides them all the links that they need to do those things. I don't have to shuffle around. I don't have to look for links. I don't have to share documents with them. It's all right there. And then, like I said, if they miss class or if they want to come back after class and look at it again, it's still right there for them to work with. Okay, now I will hand things over to Janice.
All right, thank you. I am going to try to share my screen. Just bear with me. I'm assuming you can hear me, right? Okay, great. All right. So I thought I'd start here with accessible course design. And that is the concept of providing equal access to your course content, information, and services. This accessible course design is like not an afterthought. It's incorporated into the design. And Brightspace does a great job of helping you make your course accessible, but then you as the instructor have to also make sure that content that you're putting up is as accessible as it could be. Just like, for example, this design of these stairs with the ramp already built in, so that someone who might need to use the ramp because they can't use the stairs, this is already built into this particular design. And so what I'd like to do is show you in a course. All right, you can still see my screen, right? Okay. All right, so this is a sample course that I play around in, and I'm in a Get Started Here module. And in this module, this area here, as you know, is the description. So here you can drop information into the description. Here it's a welcome. There's a video in there, some information. If the students can't play the video, they can just click on the link to start it. And then in the module, you have various topics. And so inside of your module, you can tell what a topic is, because right underneath, you'll get an identifier as to what type of topic it is. So anywhere you see web page, then that is something that was created with the HTML. It's a web page created with the HTML editor. So here in this course, I've got 2 web pages to get the course overview and tour. There's Meet Your Professor. And then I've got the syllabus here twice. This is not something that you would do in an actual course, but I have this here for a reason. One format is the PDF, and then one is how it would appear in a web page. And I'll show you that in a moment. And then this last topic here is introduce yourself. So if I wanted to create a page, I could use the default templates that are built in. And it's just a matter of going to the Upload Create button and choosing the option that says Create a File. Of course, I would have to give this particular topic or this file a name. I could immediately begin to start typing here in the HTML editor box. But if I want to apply one of those default templates that come in every course, then I can just go here and choose one. So let's say I choose this instructor welcome. Then this is the template that I start off with. So all I would have to do here is just replace the information that's in this template with my own. So I'm going to cancel this and show you what this template, this default template, would look like, or could look like, with some information in it. Not too bad. Like I said, you just fill in the information into the template, and it is a default template that's in there. Now, as we go back and look at what the other things that I have in this Get Started Here module, as I mentioned, I have the syllabus in 2 formats. Normally, what most faculty do, because it is easy to do and not a problem, is to upload that syllabus as a file. Generally, it's a Word document or perhaps a PDF. And so this one is, in fact, a PDF. So if I open this up, Brightspace knows to render this file inside of this window here. So it's rendering it as a page. So not bad. The students can come here, see the syllabus, scroll through. If they want to download it, then they can click on this download button. The thing that happens, as Jay was mentioning about Brightspace having responsive design, I'm going to resize this window so you can see what happens with this PDF file. You all can still see I hope. Okay. So notice as I resize this window, it's resizing the page for me. So if this were on, say, a phone, I can still see that there's the page there. But what I would have to do is do a pinch and zoom to actually expand it out, right? It's still responsive. Not a bad option, but there is another way. So if I go back here to the Get Started Here module and look at how the syllabus looks when it is created as a web page using an HTML template. Okay. And so here I have a banner image. I've got, I'm using some heading styles. Looks pretty good, except it is a very long page. And so if I resize this page, it is actually more responsive. So notice when this is resized, I don't have to do a pinch and zoom. I can still see the information. It's all there. One thing that I would suggest is if you are in fact doing like a syllabus on a web page using an HTML template, that you also provide a copy of the syllabus in, say, a PDF format, just in case students might want that format or prefer that format, or maybe they need to print it out. All right. Okay. Now, the pages that you were just looking at were designed with the Daylight templates, HTML templates version 2.0. Last summer, Brightspace came out with version 3.0 of the Daylight templates. And I'm actually going to show you where to get those and how to actually upload those. But I'm going to show you a few more examples here. In this course, this is actually using the version 3.0 of the Daylight templates. And this course was redesigned a little bit because in the description area here, I basically just have a banner image and just a welcome and a replace string for the student's name. But here, if I look, so I took the welcome message out of this description area, and I'm going to explain to you why I did that. But if I look at this welcome, this page again is anchored with that same image. And the video, welcome video, is actually inside of here. So when I resize this page, the video scales down to the size of the browser window in this case, or you can imagine if it were on a phone, it's going to scale down appropriately to the size of the device. The next page that's in here is the Meet Your Professor page. And as Jay was mentioning, it's going to have the same look and feel as other pages using that same template. If I go to the next page, which is the course overview and tour, one of the things that came in version 3.0 of the Daylight templates was some interactivity. Once again, I have that same banner image here, some information, but there's also accordions and tabs that are available in version 3.0. So rather than having all of it just listed on the page, you can set up an accordion. So you click on the information, it expands and collapses the areas. And the last one is the syllabus. So now I can change the syllabus so it looks like this. It's basically the same format, excuse me, that version 2.0, the other syllabus we were looking at. However, I have also incorporated some accordions in here, which then also makes this page not as long as the other. Any questions so far? All right. Now, I pointed out to you about the description area, using the description area for a reason. And in this course, this Intro to Oceanography, while you can put information in the description area, that's fine. Just be aware that the information that's in this description area, the students may not actually see that depending on how they're viewing the course. So here in this sample course, here are some objectives. So by the end of the week, the students should be able to do X, Y, and Z. And then these are the topics that are there. If a student actually looks at this module, excuse me, on their phone, this is what they are going to see. So they actually do not see any part of that description at all. So if there is something there that's important that they need to see, they're not going to see it right away. Now, there's a way that they can, in a roundabout way, get to that information, but that means that they're going to have to take a few extra steps. And remember, we were talking about accessible course design. So we want to think ahead and design our course so that it is accessible to students, no matter which way they access it or which device that they're trying to use. All right. And so that being said, I want to drop in the chat a link to this resource. Give me a moment to all right, so that's a link to the Wiki page that I'm actually looking at right now. Did it come through? Okay, great. All right, and so this is a resource that we put together so that you would have some information to help you as you work with these HTML templates. And so when you get an opportunity, you can go through the resources that are here, but what I want to go to is this one here, free HTML templates. And so the Daylight HTML 3.0 templates, and I have a frog in my throat. The Daylight HTML 3 templates version 3.0 can be found at this link. This will actually take you, if you click on this, it'll take you to the Brightspace community where you have the version 3.0 of the templates. And everything you need to actually install and use the templates is on this page. So here you'll see, to get started, it says that you're going to need to download this file. It is a zip file. And so when you download this file, you will not be unzipping it. You're going to need that actual file, zip file, intact when you put it into your Brightspace course. Then the next step here says follow the step-by-step instructions that are in this Word document. If you open up this Word document, you'll see that there are instructions on how to actually set that, install that template into your course. And so what I want to do is run through that real quickly. So I'm going to go back to this Intro to Oceanography course, because the first thing you do, as I said, is download that zip file. So you're going to have the file, it is a zip file. You're going to take that zip file, you're going to go to Course Admin. And then in your Course Admin, you're going to go to your Manage Files area. So I click on Manage Files. And here is an Upload button. So I'm actually going to click on Upload. And then I would navigate to find that zip file. Since the zip file is already in this course, I'm not going to upload it again. But once you upload it, you would see the zip file in your Manage File areas. Once it's there, you would click on this arrow and then choose Unzip. I've already unzipped it, so I'm not going to do that step either. When it's finished unzipping, you will see a folder, and in this case, it's called Brightspace HTML Template. So now the templates, the version 3.0 templates are actually now in your course. Once you do that, then you would be going back to your content area. And this, by the way, would have to be done in each course that you want to use HTML templates. If you install HTML templates in a course and you copy that course into another one, those templates will copy over. But you will have to put the templates in the course somehow. So once you've got the templates up there and you've gone to content, then you're looking for the settings option. I click on settings, and remember, everything I'm saying is in that Word document. that I pointed out to you on that article in the Brightspace community. So from settings, I'm looking for the content authoring. I need to make sure that enable HTML templates is checked. I can also check off sort HTML templates by name. But what I also need to do is change the path. So here I'm going to tell the system where I want it to go anytime I'm trying to add a template to the course, where I want it to go to find those templates. So when you click on change path, more than likely your path is going to say it's navigating to a shared file area. The files for your course are always found under course offering files. So you would be checking course offering files, and then you would select Brightspace HTML template. Once that's selected, then you would choose select path. And the path then should be pointing back to the course that you're trying to upload these templates in. And then it's a matter of just clicking save. Since the templates are already in my course, I'm going to go ahead and click cancel. But as I said, what I just ran through real quickly, and I know I did it real quickly, those step-by-step instructions are in that Word document that I showed you. So once I have the templates in there, then I can go into a module and click on the Upload Create and choose Create a File. All right. And so from here, obviously, I need to enter a title for this page that I'd be creating. But notice I can go here and select the document template, and now I see my new HTML version 3.0 templates. So let's say, for example, I wanted to create a page for a video lecture because I want to put a video on the page. I choose video lecture, and then I have a starting point to be able to start building that page. What's nice about these templates is that it provides you with some information generally about, a purpose for the page, and then, what's included. Sometimes you have some tips, and even like at the end of this page here, it tells you how you can go in and replace the video on this page. So basically, you're just building out this page. But if, for example, I wanted to create a page for a syllabus, then I would probably use this basic page. So let's try that. And it's telling me if you try to change a template, it is going to overwrite whatever you have done, right? So you want to definitely read any pop-up boxes and respond accordingly. Okay. All right, so I selected a basic page, and so this is where I want to start. And so I have that banner image that I'm using throughout this course, right? So I click on this image because I don't want it. I just select it, I highlight it, and then I press the delete key on the keyboard. I leave my cursor in place. I don't move it. I go to this icon on the toolbar, which is the insert image. I click insert image. Now that banner image that I'm using, it's already uploaded into my course. Once I loaded it up once, then I'm not going to keep going back to my computer and uploading more copies of it. I'm just going to go to the file that's on my computer. The file that's in my course, not on my computer, the file that's in my course, and use that image. And so that would be found under my course offering files. So I click on course offering files. And then all I need to do is find that image, and here it is. It's called Shades of Blue. I'm going to click Add. And then we definitely want to keep in mind about accessibility. So I'm going to enter some information for the alternative text. So this is an ocean waves. And I click OK. And now that image is on my page. And at this point, it's just a matter of replacing the information that is here. All right. One of the templates that you'll see that's available to you is called an elements page. And what you can do with that is actually pull elements from that page and put it and copy them and paste them into other pages. So let's say on this page, I'd like to use some other element that's not here. Then what I suggest is open up another tab in your web browser, and I will do that. And then just go to create a file and just open up the elements template. The only reason I'm having it open here is because I want to copy something from this elements page. So I'm going to choose elements. I'm not planning to save this page. I just want to copy an element from here. So, and as I said, when you open up one of the template pages, it gives you some information and then explains exactly how you can do it, right? And so if I needed an ordered list, for example, then I could copy that and put it on the page. It tells you actually where to start the copy and where to stop the copy. But let's say I wanted this Jumbotron. So I select Jumbotron, the start copy and the end copy. And then I'm going to choose copy. I go back to the page that I was working on. My cursor is in the place that I want it to be. And then I'm going to do a paste. The Jumbotron is now in this page. And all I have to do now is just delete the parts that I don't want, right? So now I'm building the syllabus page and it has this Jumbotron in here. And I can type whatever information I wanted to appear in the Jumbotron. One thing I do want to also mention is as you're working on these pages, something may go wrong. You paste something in, something happened, it's not what you wanted. In this toolbar, if you expand it, so I typed this in and I don't want it. I want to, there is an undo. Undo will be your friend. I can press undo and I'm back to where I was. All right. Okay. And so you build the page as you want. And one of the last things that you want to make sure that you do is check the page for accessibility. And anywhere in Brightspace where you see an icon, you can roll your mouse and let it rest and you'll get a tooltip. So this icon right here will run the accessibility checker. And so if I click this, I get a message, no accessibility issues are detected. If there are some, then it gives you the opportunity to go ahead and correct those. So I will say, close that. And I'm actually not going to save this page, but I just wanted you to see how easy it could be to build a page, right? Okay. All right. Now, there may be well, let me say this first. I created some pages in this course using the tabs template. Right. So if I look at the tabs template, the default, it gives me some best practices, but then I can actually copy tabs in if I needed 2 tabs or a group of 3 or a group of 4. On this particular page, I wanted to have a group of 6. And by default, there is not a group of 6 tabs here, which meant I had to actually go into the HTML and figure out how to add 2 more tabs. So that could be a reason why you might need to know something about the HTML. Or you could just build the page out with whatever elements that they have, build it out somehow using that. But with these tabs, this is helpful because as you click on the different items, information about whatever it is then comes forward. I also, when I was putting this together, for example, here I was trying to do an ordered list and I have items 1 and 2, and then I decided to put an image in here. And then when I went back to numbering again, it was going back to number 1. So I had to figure out how to restart the numbers at number 3. Basically, I went into the HTML and figured out how I can add to that tag to have it restart at number 3. So there may be some situations where you will need to go in and do a little bit of adjustment to the HTML code. Here's another situation. If you look at this syllabus, here under disability and accessibility, I have an image in here. But I would like to have some spacing here between where the image is and where the text is wrapping around. And I can do that, as I discovered, but I have to do that with adding a little bit of code in here. So if I go to edit this HTML, when you're working with these images, by the way, if I select this image, I can actually use this alignment and move it. So let's say I wanted to get some spacing on it, but maybe I want to put it on the right. So I can select the image and then do align right. It'll move it to the right. I don't really like it on the right. Remember, redo will be your friend. Undo will be your friend. I can undo that. But here, if I want to put some spacing in here, I need to get into the HTML. And so this icon here, as Bart would say, the pointy brackets, I can click on this and it opens up the HTML code. You all can still see the HTML, right? Okay. So here I know I need to find the section that starts with disability and accessibility. Here it is. It is a level 2 heading, but right behind it is the image tag. So I know this is where my image is. And I figured out that I can add in the style tag, if I just add padding, just added one more padding and make 10 pixels all around. I click save. And notice now I have a little bit of spacing around that image. So like I said, there may be some situations where you might need to go in and do a little bit of tweaking to the HTML, or if you're okay with the image lining right up next to the text, then that's fine as well. All right, I'm going to do save and close. All right, any questions before I go back to this? Nothing? Okay, great. Well, we are doing well. All right, and so the link to that wiki resource that I provided to you, as you saw, has links to HTML templates. The step-by-step instructions are there. There are also links to some free image sites. If you find some images, you will probably want to, at some point, maybe do some image editing. Just make sure you have the rights to do that. And then there are some resources for Creative Commons there as well. So basically, to get HTML templates into your course, It's 4 steps. Choose the theme and then download that template you want, put it on your computer. Upload that HTML template to your course. Enable that template in the course by going to settings in the content area, and then apply it to a page. So you're going to go to the create a file. The templates are available when you create a file in content. You cannot use HTML templates in the descriptions. They're not available in descriptions, only available when you go to create a file. All right, then I have a quick activity here. As I mentioned, when you're working with HTML templates, you will probably have to, at some point, get into the HTML code. And so I have a little matching activity. So you should be able to get to the annotations tools. And we're just going to match the content type to this picture. Can anybody ever? If you're looking at the Zoom screen, you'll go to View Options. And from there, you should see annotations. Anybody working on the activity, or is it too late in the day for this?
When I go into view, it doesn't give me that option of annotation.
It doesn't?
No.
Are you on a Chromebook?
No, yeah, wait, let me see. I don't know. Am I?
I see Alum has found it. Great, Alum.
Janice, I can't figure out how to do it on the iPad.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. I don't think you can from an iPad.
I don't see view options anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, no problem. All right, so you all are doing great. Lines all over the place. I'm assuming. So this was relatively easy, right? Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and clear the screen because I see we have, I'm going to clear all the drawings so we can, Felicia, thank you for the heart. I'm going to clear all drawings so we can move on. All right. Let's
Janice,
see.
we did have a question in the chat. I answered it real quickly, but I wasn't sure if you wanted to talk a little more in depth. Beth was asking about, can you kind of create your own template files?
Well, I don't want to write HTML. I just want to use one, alter it to put my information in and say it's like, you know, about me. That about me is not going to change and I'll use it in every class. So can I save it as a new template?
Actually, you can. And Jay has done a little bit of that. But you can build out your own template with the information that you want. But you kind of have to know about style sheets and HTML and you can copy. Right, you can copy between courses as well.
Yeah, I think for what Beth is asking, it would more like taking kind of one of the templates they have and actually plugging in the information and then saving that filled in page as a template. So she, you know, and you can, Beth, what you need to do is any file you drop into the folder that zip file creates of pages will then show up as in the list of available templates. Not sure if I'm necessarily explaining that really well. I can show you real quickly if we've got a minute.
Yeah, let me stop my sharing.
So Yeah, so let me just show on my screen real quickly here. So again, you remember Janice kind of stepped us through where you would download that zip file and then you would upload it to your Brightspace page and then you would unzip it in Brightspace. And I will warn you, it takes a few minutes for Brightspace to kind of do that. But you'll eventually end up with this folder that says something like Daylight HTML template or Brightspace HTML template, right? And when I come in here, it says, okay, here's the module templates. And I go in there and then these are the actual templates, right? These are the blank pages that it creates. So any page that you dropped into here would then be available through that template menu. Right. So if you had one that you filled out here with your office contact information or your bio or whatever you want to make available, then yeah, the next time in that class or when you copied it to another class, you could just say create a template of my bio page and it'll copy that and it'll have all that information you'd already plugged in there. And then you could tweak it if you needed to change office hours or something like that. It sounds more complicated than it is.
I agree.
Yeah, so you wouldn't need to actually, in this case, you wouldn't actually need to do any of the HTML stuff. You would just need to, like you said, fill in the page, and then it would just be a matter of moving it to the proper folder in Brightspace so that it's always available.
Okay. I'm not sure. I don't understand how you save that file as an HTML. I know how you would get it into this folder, I think, but yeah.
It's possible. So if you want some time to kind of walk through it, just, let us know. We can kind of sit there and kind of walk you through it, of creating the page and then moving it to where it needs to be in Brightspace.
Okay.
Yep. And then, like you said, the next time you duplicate the class, or you could just copy that folder to another class, it'll always be there. I hadn't thought about doing that, but that's a good idea because the bio is not going to change a whole lot. Oop, I guess I should stop sharing my email. Okay.
All right. And so I am going to all right, I think you all can see my screen, right?
Yep.
All right, so I just kind of want to quickly find out how comfortable are you with HTML templates right now? You're building a good foundation. Okay, great. And if you're not at I think I can, does anybody want to share what Elizabeth, you're at I think I can. Great. If you're not at I think I can, if you don't mind, if you have what do you feel you need to actually move you over to I think I can? Either come on, Mike, or type something in the chat. Nobody?
Got some people in the chat saying they're building a good foundation.
I was gonna say that I had no idea at all how to do this, but now I'm somewhere. I just need to start building it in my little shell, and then we'll get to that. I think I can.
Okay, great. Yes.
And Janice, I wanted to say or ask, I guess, it seems like this is easier to practice on with brand new, kind of a brand new course, because you can't go and say, I have this course, let me just drop these templates on them. You lose everything you've already done. So it seems like the best way to practice this is with a course that you have nothing for, right?
Right, you're building, correct. And you all can, I'm sorry, Jay?
I said that's what summertime's for.
Summertime. And you can request the master course shell if you want to build out a course. And then you can, once you get it all built out, you would be able to copy that into, say, your summer or your fall course. All right, I'm going to clear these drawings because I do have A couple more slides. So when you're thinking about these HTML templates, ask yourself, is what you're trying to do, would it be better suited as a web page or in some other format? Perhaps having it in both formats, web page and some alternative format might be what you need. Ask yourself that. And I have some effective practices and some potential pitfalls. When you are trying to use these HTML templates, make sure you set the path for the shared file. So remember, when I went in settings and I set the path, that way, every time you try to create a template, you will be in the correct path, so you can just select the template that one of the templates that you're trying to use. If you are using a banner image, we found that an image that is at least 1200 pixels by 400 in height are kind of the ones that work best for a banner image. Effective practice number 3, when you're adding images, use the insert image or the insert stuff buttons in the HTML editor. You may recall when I was adding in that banner image, because I clicked on the insert image button, I was immediately prompted to enter some alt text. And so this would make that image accessible. And so you want to, when you're working with images, make sure that you can do it in one of these 2 ways so that you can enter that alt text as you're creating that or inserting that image. Effective practice number 4, type your content in a document such as Word or Google Docs first. This way, you can spot spelling and grammar errors early on. It may be easier. Type it over there, and then you're going to be putting it into Brightspace. Effective practice number 5, when you are doing that and you want to paste that information in, paste it in without the formatting. Sometimes that erroneous formatting will come over and then it will change something. So just make sure you paste unformatted text in. Effective practice number 6, use proper formatting styles. So if it's a heading 1, use the heading 1. If it's a heading 2, use heading 2. If it's an ordered list, then make it an ordered list, unordered list. So use proper formatting styles. Effective practice number 7, when you're copying from that elements page, you have to be in edit mode to copy the elements. Then make sure you copy everything between that start copy and that end copy. And then that is what you're going to paste in if you're trying to copy elements between the pages. Effective practice number 8, keep that elements page open in its own window or tab so you can just copy and paste the elements onto whatever page you're creating. And then effective practice number 9, by all means, when you are working on these pages, run that accessibility checker on each page. Potential pitfall number 1, and we've kind of talked about this already. When you're applying a template to an existing page, it will overwrite the content and you will lose your work. I can't stress that enough. You will lose your work. Potential pitfall number 2, that HTML template path may need to be reselected after you copy from one course to another. So in that destination course, you may have to go back into content and settings and then just reselect the path to the HTML templates if you're trying to create more templates in that destination, template pages in that destination course. Potential pitfall number 3, these HTML templates aren't really recommended if the page is intended to be for printing or saving outside of Brightspace. If you have a page that's really intended for printing, then provide that material in an alternate format that's going to be suitable for printing. Potential pitfall number 4. What we're doing, the templates will actually be at the course level. However, if you are doing, if you're trying to export them, then you need to make sure, if you're not doing exporting the entire course, then you need to make sure that you include the course files in your export package, as well as selecting all items under the course appearance. And I think everybody here is subscribed to the Cat Food blog. If you're not, I would suggest that you do so. This is where we're posting Brightspace tips and other timely information. You'll find the subscribe button up at the top of the page. All right, and as we wrap up, I'd like you to type your number 1 takeaway from today in the chat. Your number 1 takeaway from today. All right, let's see. Catherine said templates can get rid of what you have. Yes, the templates, yeah, will overwrite. Baha, how to find the template image. Carmen, daylight template download. And Beth, I need to practice using templates in my sandbox. And Eliz, I need to practice in my own course for the fall. Great. All right, thank you guys. Any last minute, an alum said where to start with templates. All right, any last minute questions? If not, I want to remind you all that you will be getting an evaluation in the mail, in your email. And so be on the lookout for that. We do value your opinion. And so you should get that within 24, 48 hours. And by attending this session, you have earned the Lex Advanced HTML Templates badge. And usually Jay is on it.
I've already been awarded. So.
Okay. And I am going to say congratulations. And there's your confetti.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Okay. And so we can stick around if there are any last minute questions. I know it was a lot that we went through and rather quickly. But we're available if you have any questions as you try to work with this.